A new study points to a strong connection linking ultra-processed food consumption and colon cancer. Ultra-processed foods are foods with industrial ingredients not found in your typical kitchen pantry. They're often packaged and filled with preservatives. And by some public health estimates, those types of foods make up about 70% of the average American diet. The study was done by the Mass General Brigham Cancer
Crazy.
Institute, and medical experts say it could explain why the rates of colon cancer among young adults, or younger adults, we should say, are rising. To help us get a better understanding of it, we want to welcome
Crazy.
Dr. Catherine Van Loon to the show. She's a UCSF professor and director of the UCSF Global Cancer Program. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
There have been a number of studies recently on the risks of ultra-processed foods and eating them.
Watch what you
about
eat.
this particular study, though, stood out to you most?
This is a first study that's taken a cohort of nearly 30,000 young, healthy females and showed us a clear linkage to an increased risk for developing colorectal precursor lesions called colon adenomas.
And so what are some of the reasons why there is that link between those types of foods and those preconditions for the development of colon cancer?
This is something that we still are unpacking, and we've previously understood that young onset or early onset colorectal cancer is associated with obesity, type 2 diabetes, and a sedentary lifestyle, as well as a diet that's rich in red meat and processed meats and sugars. But I can tell you, I see plenty of patients who don't have any of these clear risk factors who are very young at the time of their colorectal diagnosis. So this is yet another clue in terms of dietary consumption and diet patterns that may be linked to this rising epidemic of colon cancer in younger people.
How can
This is why Make America Healthy Again is here. Instead of having MAGA, we have MAHA. The foods that we are eating is killing us. If you don't know what ultra processed foods is, I'm going to tell you real quick. McDonald's fries, chicken nuggets, burgers with fillers, Doritos, Cheetos, hot chips, cookies, candy, ice cream, packaged pastries, soda, energy drinks, powdered drinks. All that shit is killing you and making you in the future have colon cancer. Do you think you see why that Trump is saying you should not be on this stuff if you on SNAP benefits? Because you're killing yourself, and then what happens? You got to go to the doctor, and you want free health care too. Got to stop eating the nonsense. What you eat kills you. This is why we have administration, RFK Jr. jumping in and telling y'all this stuff is going to kill you. Stop eating it. All it's going to do is going to give it to people that don't have money to get health insurance, and now we got to pay for that too. This is why we have the problems we have with our spending. It's because we're giving people money for free to buy things that's killing them, and they got to go to the insurance and go to the hospital, but they need insurance, so they had to get that for free. All they're doing is costing America. I love seeing that these reports are coming out because we got people that shouldn't be eating this stuff that can't afford the insurance to take care of this stuff. Nothing wrong with having things in moderation, but we have people getting these things every single month when they using their SNAPs, food stamps, and their EBT. You're not going for the healthy stuff. You're going for the junk food. Why y'all on SNAP and y'all got Doritos and Cheetos in y'all house? This is why you have these companies now getting rid of Red 40. This is why you see Doritos and Cheetos is coming with the naked version without all the artificial stuff. We have different dietary standards than in Europe. Europe, they don't allow all this stuff because they already knew it causes cancer. Finally, we have administration in here that's saying we got to stop this. Because why? It's about money. If you eat in the junk food and you have no money, so you're using the government money to get the junk food, now you can't even afford the health care, so you need a government money for that too. That's the reason why we have inflation. That's the reason why the budget is coming up. It's because we are giving people this money and they're getting whatever they want, and they're getting the crappiest foods, making themselves sick. This is why you come out with kids all jacked up, thinking that they something that they not. That is traced back to what the mother is eating during pregnancy. And then you're giving your kid this stuff, these artificial things is messing up the kids, is making the kids go cuckoo. What do you think? Some of these things, you don't think some of these things that people are eating can cause autism in babies? I believe whatever happens to a woman is because of what she consumes, what she eats, what you're giving the child. Eating chemicals is going to affect you and your baby. We need more studies like this. We need more things coming out. We need more people talking about this. It's because these ultra processed foods can kill you and give you cancer. But who wins? Who wins when you're doing this to yourself? Obviously, the people that you're buying it from win, and then the insurance company wins, the hospital wins, but you ain't paying for none of this stuff. You're getting all this stuff for free.
Concerned are you about that epidemic, and how different is it from what we've seen with the trends for this disease and this type of cancer over previous decades?
I'm extremely concerned. Every patient in my clinic is very, very young, and this is resulting in a rising mortality rate amongst young people from this otherwise preventable disease. We are seeing decreasing rates in our population that is above the age of 45 in the screening range, but also rising rates in younger people.
When you talk about
Younger
younger
people
people
getting
and some
colon
of your
cancer.
younger
It's
patients, how
crazy
young are
from
we talking about?
foods.
What age?
I've had patients that are in my care that are in their 20s, 30s, early 40s as well.
Wow. What details does this study point to about, or does it go into detail about the types of ultra processed foods that people ate?
It doesn't specifically give us detail about the types of ultra processed foods. This is a large group of foods that include boxed soups, frozen meals. Typically, they're the foods that are convenient, they taste good, and they have very long shelf lives. So it's easy to stock our
Preservatives.
cabinets with them.
And there are now several generations of people who grew up eating a lot of these ultra processed foods in the late 70s, the 80s, and 90s before we knew about the harms and risks. Can that damage be undone?
We can extract from the tobacco literature that we know that when somebody stops smoking, their risk of lung cancer decreases. So I think it's not too late to intervene to stop bad habits. And certainly passing on good habits to our children and the younger generations is really important.
What are some of the most important immediate
It's
changes people
crazy.
should start making?
So eat fresh foods. I think that's the take home here is as much as you can, focus on fresh foods and fresh vegetables, fresh and unprocessed meats, and get screened. If you're over the age of 45, you are in the eligible screening range for colorectal cancer screening. And it also really calls awareness to this disease that if somebody is experiencing bowel changes, blood in their stool, abdominal pain or cramping, unexplained weight loss, present to your doctor and report your symptoms because we certainly see this in younger patients. And just because you're not yet 45 doesn't mean that this doesn't need medical attention if you're experiencing symptoms.
So this is alarming as we talk more and more about this, that we need to start talking about this is typically you're not supposed to check for your colon cancer until 45 and up. But what's been happening is because these ultra processed foods and these kids be eating them so much, they've been seeing signs of colon cancer when as young as 20s. That's alarming. It's because of the food you eat, chemicals, additives, preservatives. People that eat, that's crazy. I just saw somebody in my office eating a frozen meal. Those have nothing but a bunch of preservatives in it. You see what I'm saying? These things are what's making you sick. The convenient foods is making you sick. The chips, the energy drinks, the soda, all these things have chemicals in it. And it's very hard to try to go to fresh foods, right? Yeah, I like a bag of Doritos here and there. I like, something here and there that's processed, but it's about some of these people are eating it every single day. Who are the people that eating it every single day? They're the people that are low income. They're the people that's on SNAP benefits. They're using their SNAP to buy these things just to have food, but they're getting the wrong foods. This is why I believe that if you on SNAP, you should get a box of food of healthy foods because you're going to cost America with your food, buying food, and you're going to cost America with the insurance. And the thing is, though, a lot of these companies know that the food and the health insurance go hand in hand. They know what they're doing. They know what they put in these cereals. They know what they put in these things that kids like. They already know what they're doing. They double dipping. But you have to understand and be happy that we have administration that's there that's saying we see just by making America healthy, we're going to save money. Everything's about money. But if we make America healthy and we restrict the certain things they can buy on SNAP, then they won't be going to the doctor as much. Also, too, if we can start making GLP ones a lot cheaper, we don't have to worry about people going and dying and having colon cancer, and then we have to pay for that because they can't afford insurance. Follow the money, but the food and the health insurance, the food and the health industry work hand in hand together. This is why you have to look and be like, got it. I see it now. I understand what is happening. We have to put ourselves in a situation to see and look, how do we make ourselves better? How do we make America healthy again? It's by the foods. We have different standards in Europe. When you go shopping in Europe, it's all fresh stuff. It's not heavy processed stuff. There's no cancer things in there. They don't do that. They don't even accept it. That's why the food tastes better, and the shelf life is quicker because it's fresh foods. So this is something, as if you're a parent or even if you just like to eat this stuff, be mindful of what you're eating. There's nothing wrong with eating it once in a while. That food was made for once in a while, but not every day. The quicker that is presented to you, the more shit that's in it. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for your support. And we'll just keep this thing rocking.